Hello there everyone, my name is David Pustansky from Extremes.tv, and today we're going to be doing an action figure review in the wrestling field category. And here we can see we have the Chella Toys Wrestling Megastars official Nick Aldis action figure. Now if you don't know Nick Aldis, he is the current NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, and this is clearly designed to be a similar design in almost every way to an old WWF Hasbro figure. Now I don't have a Hasbro figure in the packaging with me, but I do have another thing that's inspired by that, just to give a little bit of comparison to, which is an official WWF Mattel retro figure here. And as you can see, that this is a close recreation of what you'd get back in the day with the Hasbro figures, but this very much matches up so as well. So let's just go over some of the things and I'll give some of my thoughts on it. So I will put in some close-ups and stuff for this just so you can see what I'm talking about. So just to compare what we've got here, I'm not going to take this out of the packaging just because obviously as we can see here it says that it's limited to 2,000 pieces, so it may be a collector's item within time. I've already seen that lots of people reviewing it have taken it out of the box, but I'm not going to. But here we can see, compared size-wise to an original Hasbro Dusty Rhodes figure, yes it is an original Dusty Rhodes. See, it's about the same size, and comparing it to a Mattel WWE figure, here's one of the Ultimate Warrior again. So these figures are all so that you can use them interchangeably with each other. As you can see, just like the older figures, there is this sense that the proportions are slightly off, whereas I do get the sense that this didn't strike me as being so off proportionally, just as this one, like the arms feel a little bit more stunted, the forehead on the face feels a little bit too big for the body kind of thing. And interestingly though, when you look at the feet, it's not like too bad compared to Dusty Rhodes here, but when you compare to the Mattel ones, then you'll see that the Nick Aldis figure does have particularly small feet. Let's just put it in there so that you can see that. And otherwise the detail is quite good. I did note that when you see the close-up of the illustration of Nick Aldis here, I feel like the illustration is closer to the look of actual Nick Aldis than what the actual figure does. I feel like I mentioned, the forehead is a little bit misshapen, like his hairline on the illustration looks better than it does on the actual figure. But it's good. Like obviously the Ultimate Warrior is very easy here for them to get the look right of. John Cena here is probably about as like to the real John Cena as this is to the Nick Aldis, so it's not really a big complaint there, just an observation. The design on the packaging is like, I think they is literally scanned exactly the same as you'd have found on the old Hasbro figures, just with like this shape of like the spikes coming out here, with the stars going across there. It's good that they've got the signature of the wrestler. Obviously the WWF logo or WWE logo is replaced by this close approximation, so you can see that it uses the similar colour scheme, like the gold border, and it's got like the blue into the white into the black going throughout it. But it's an unusual shape, and it's for the Wrestling Megastars, so it's like a W and an M combined in one way or another. I do feel that when you look at the detail around the eyes, that there's not like a visible like dark line to show like if we look at Dusty Rhodes here, there is a definite dark line across to show where his like eyelashes are and give that definition, which I feel is missing on the Nick Aldis figure. But for the first attempt, the first edition, the first in the series from Chella Toys of these classic Hasbro style WWE wrestling figures, not WWE obviously, I think it's very good. There's lots of things to enjoy about it. Obviously it's a thing nowadays where you'll see Star Trek figures released to be like the old Star Trek figures, which have got that kind of not quite perfect quality, not quite spot on look to them, which is part of the art design nowadays, whereas back in the day it may be that this was just like the best that they could do, where they didn't like paint on certain bits, or like if you look at the legs, then yes, this is absolutely slightly misshapen, like out of proportions to what it should be. But there's loads of cool references. Now, a lot of WWF figures, if I bring up this one, you'll see that he does have like a spring loaded in him, so you can rock forward. This one I'm not going to touch too much just because it's a little bit more delicate. And then on the Mattel ones, they've got this one. I don't think you got this action on any of the old Hasbros, but you get like these spring loaded actions. From what I've seen of others, from people that have got the Nick Aldis figure, it doesn't have any actual action. Where it says here with Kingsland Cloverleaf, Cloverleaf is obviously a leg lock, so unless it is just going to be that you go like this with figures and say that it's a leg lock of some kind, then obviously the action that this does isn't going to be a cloverleaf. On the back here, it says that you articulate the arm up, then you articulate it down again. But literally there's no spring loaded, so it is literally that you put it there and put it down again yourself. And it does say to activate, which I feel is a tiny bit misleading, but the point is most people who get these aren't going to take it out of the packet. It is just a collector's piece, so even if someone does take it out of the packet, it'll probably just be on a display case rather than that it's something that a kid plays with. One thing that's interesting here, it says for like Series 2 coming soon, the outlines are absolutely the outlines of the Macho King Randy Savage figure and of the Ultimate Warrior figure there as well. Series 1, it just says Real World Champion Nick Aldis, which is interesting. It shows him there holding the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship, and notice I say World's Heavyweight Championship, whereas this says Real World's Champion, and that might be his nickname, but he should be the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. And there where it says about his, it says the current NWA World Heavyweight Champion, which again, like, I always find it a little bit strange that they say World's Heavyweight Champion in NWA nowadays, but it is what it is. Then it says exclusive, the Mind of the Meanie 2-pack. I put it into the article. I can't remember the name of the guy now, who this is, but it's the guy that does the podcast with the Blue Meanie. So it's interesting that there's like an action figure of him, like along with Blue Meanie, and I guess that's still part of Series 1, even though it says Series 1 then exclusive. And then Series 2, we now know, I think Ethan Page is coming out, and they've shown Dynamite Kid is coming out. Now, I'm very impressed with this. The thickness of the card here is good compared to, look how flimsy the Mattel ones are. In terms of this recreating the look of the old figures, obviously, like I pointed out, this section here where it shows the action, this one's got the illustration, the black and white illustrations on the back, whereas this is all color pictures. So this one gives a sense and reference to things of the past, whereas this is a much closer recreation. So in this sense, the Nick Aldis figure and what they've done there at Chella Toys really does feel a lot more spot on in terms of being fan service. Even the shape of the cutout here, as we can see on the Mattel figure, isn't actually the right shape, whereas they do have it correct on the Chella Toys figure. So I think this is really good. I look forward to seeing what else they'll do in the future. I think it would have been cool if they'd included a NWA World's Heavyweight Championship belts with him, but obviously they'd have then needed the license not just of Nick Aldis, but they'd have needed the license from the NWA. And you know, maybe in the future there could be like another edition of this, just like how you'd get multiple repainted versions, re-releases of figures during the Hasbro days. They could do one where perhaps Nick Aldis has got on like the entrance attire that he's wearing here, palette swap the trunks, the tights rather, and put him there with the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship belt. So there you have it. Oh, one last thing I'll mention, the ages 15 and up I thought was very cool. Don't know if this has got something, it says 6+ here, but again on the old ones I think they said ages 4 and up. So yeah, there you go. This is a quick review of the Nick Aldis Wrestling Megastars action figure from Chella Toys. There's a couple of things about it which I feel could be slightly improved, but that's just really nitpicking. Overall, I think it's a really solid design and a really good release for anyone who collects the old Hasbro style wrestling figures. So that's it for now from me. This was the first time I've reviewed an action figure like this, but there will be more in the future. So make sure you smash that subscribe button here on youtube.com/ExtremeImprov, and do check out the article, which is written a lot more articulate than what I've been able just to ramble on here, thinking off the top of my head, over on extremes.tv. So from me, until next time, stay safe, always stay extremed, and ciao for now.